It was another record day for the Trump rally as the Dow smashes through 19,000, and all the other major equity indices surged to all-time highs. And once again, the sense of animal spirits are in the air and on display. We saw it today in housing and retail sales. In both cases, momentum already in motion before the election, and there's every reason to believe that moves made by President-elect Trump could really put this rally into overdrive. Retailers surged. Burlington Coat Factory, by the way, was my mother's favorite store. Dollar Tree, DSW, Chico's, yeah, even Chico's. And then there were existing home sales climbing to their highest level since February of 2007. And then tomorrow, we're going to get a revision on consumer confidence with folks who have been polled or surveyed since the election. I am looking for a monster improvement on that number. Here to discuss it all, Dominick, Tavella, along with Eric Schiffer. Eric, let me start with you. I'm seeing where the never-Trumpers and the Democrats and the guy who parks the car at the parking garage and the dude at the hot dog stand, everyone is really believing and feeling that, yeah, something is going on. There's some animal spirits in the air.
They are, Charles, and they're feeling it for good reason. I mean, if, in fact, that Trump does follow through on these policies, you're going to see a continuation. You're going to see an economy that could get much better. But if he doesn't do it, you're going to see a policy-fueled catastrophe. He's got to fall through and really go through with it all. If he doesn't, forget about it.
Although, to your point, seeing the momentum in the market, seeing how in these polls where Trump's approval rating post-election have gone through the roof, the Democrats would be playing a very dangerous game, and any Republicans, by the way, who will go against some of the core ideas that Donald Trump has put forth that has ignited the market and Main Street. Eric?
I think that that's true to a certain degree. I think that certainly the Democrats need to stay focused. But, again, we're talking about the market, and the market is really projecting forward, as we know. It's projecting forward a lot of tax cuts that will really entice businesses to want to put forth money into the economy. And there's tons of cash, as we know, Charles. I mean, there's an enormity of cash that's sitting on the sidelines. It's just waiting. You've got businesses that will likely bring their businesses back because they want to be in with the Trump administration. You've got other policies on health care where it will certainly enthuse the market. But he's got to go through. He can't back down. He's got to be able to follow through. The market believes he's going to do it. I think he will do it. But if he doesn't, then we got an issue.
Dominick, how do you feel about this rally? Where we are now, is it somewhat extended? You know, I look at a stock like U.S. Steel. I thought at 25, coming from 17 to 25, it was overdone. Today it hit 32.
Look, Charles, as you know, there were a lot of people on Wall Street that just got this one completely wrong. They had way too much cash sitting on the sidelines or in other asset classes, and they're rotating in. I think what we have to caution people on, even if Trump is 100% right, he gets everything he wants, it's going to take an awful lot of time to institutionalize his ideas. Look what happened with Obama in infrastructure. He wasted $1 billion. Remember shovel ready, Charles? You and I sat in studio on those days. It took a year to implement and get some of these policies institutionalized. Tax savings. You talk about trade wars that could happen. There's a lot of stuff that has to come all into the pipeline, and it's just going to take a really long time for it to happen.
I get what you're saying, and you know, the mechanics of it and how Washington moves and works. But if the market senses that this stuff is going through, listen, I think Barack Obama squandered a lot of opportunity, in part. No one thought about the untimely death of Senator Kennedy. But having said that, if the market senses, and Eric pointed this out, it's a forward-looking mechanism, could it possibly continue, for the most part, to have an upside bias as it watches Washington check off the boxes?
Sure. Look, you know, we talk about the Santa Claus rally, and I do believe the consumer plays a big part of this. If the consumer's feeling good, they're going to spend money, especially during the holidays, going out to dinner, travel. So that's going to be more fuel into the economy. But I just want to caution people, if you've kind of missed this rally because you were scared, you're sitting on the sidelines, be very careful about dumping all your eggs into the basket just today. Do it over time. There will be buying opportunities. I've been doing this for a long time. Markets never go straight up.
Eric, having said that and having heard that, though, here's the thing. My business has gone crazy in the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking at portfolios where people are holding dead weight, stocks that have no bid. They sold all their stocks. They bought gold. They're upside down, and they want to catch up. They want a piece of the action. How do you think they should go about this?
I think you got to pick sectors in this situation. I think there's still a lot of sectors, Charles, that have a lot of opportunity, especially if Trump follows through, whether it's construction, certain aspects of healthcare. I would be looking at the individual companies as well in certain cases, but definitely the sectors. And there will be opportunities where some of this is going to correct from a volatility standpoint. You get back in. It's really a question of, do you bet on whether Trump can enact these things? Because if he does, certainly corporate tax reform on the corporate side, that's huge if it really happens.
You know, one of the things that's helped this rally along, and it began the night that Donald Trump won with the acceptance speech, his tone. He's been magnanimous. He's reached out. He put the olive branches out there. He's done everything that the mainstream media said he wouldn't do. And I think that's one of the things the guys who modeled this on Wall Street didn't figure on. I think he keeps that going with respect to trade now. I think he'll do what he has to do, and he'll push and fight China, for instance. I think he'll get concessions on NAFTA right away. Dominick, if we continue to see that, because I think Wall Street's only main worry is a trade war, but if it becomes apparent that that's not going to happen, how much upside could there be? Again, taking into account potential pullbacks here and there.
Yeah, look, clearly if Europe can get its act together, if China seems like it didn't have the hard fall that everybody was predicting, and overall global economy continues to be positive, good trade relationships with these other countries, these other entities, these other regions, it can only be positive for the U.S., especially if we're talking about reinventing manufacturing in this country. But there's a lot of ifs in that statement. Cautiously optimistic, but cautious.